you, Veena. Thank you so much. Veena has been very kind all along, and Veena has been wanting me to talk about tapping for quite some time now. And tapping is an ocean, and I'm doing my best today to put it in an hour, and let's see how it goes. And any questions at any point in time, please feel free to type your questions on the chat box, and towards the end of the session, we will be addressing them. Feel free to tap on the points that I'm mentioning during the session. Keep your doubts ready, keep your questions ready, and we will address them all together. So let's take a moment, a few seconds to connect with our own breath. Inhale and exhale. Stay with yourself, feeling grateful for all that we have today. Slowly open your eyes and let's get going. So as you all would have seen, it said EFT, right? EFT is Emotional Freedom Technique here. It's also called tapping. It's called tapping because we tap on certain points on our energy meridians. Okay, so now what is energy? We are all made up of energy. I'm sure all of you agree, right? If I have to lift a pen, I need energy. If I have to put it down, I need energy. If I have to sit here, I need energy. If I have to stand up, if I have to talk, for everything, we need energy, right? And this energy has to flow. It can't be stagnant at one point. Energy is continuously flowing. So when this energy is continuously flowing, there are some blocks created here and there in the body. And as a result of that, what happens is there is a block in the flow of energy. And then that causes some kind of discomfort. And then that discomfort keeps going on, and it ends up in a disease in the body. This can happen due to various reasons. So now we will go to Gary Craig, who's the founder of EFT. So Gary graduated from Stanford, and he had the same amount of energy during the end of the day, the way he would start the day. Okay, so that's when people around him felt that there was something extra that this man was doing that made him have the same amount of energy towards the end of the day, you know, with which he would start the day with. So he and his friend Roger Callahan started researching about this human body. They came to the East, they went to China, they came to India. They did a lot of research on the body and the body's energy meridians. And as a result, they figured out this whole 3-minute technique where you tap on your energy meridians to release your physical and emotional pain. So there's a lot of research that has gone into this EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, for tapping. There are a whole lot of websites today where you can just search for tapping and you find a whole lot of facilitators all over the world teaching you a lot of things about this tapping. Okay, so now there is this website, EFTuniverse.com. I will be giving all this to Veena at a later date. I mean, not at a later date, later today. And she will share it with whoever is interested in knowing all of these things. And the manual is downloadable for free from this website, the entire manual. Okay, so that is a website which you can look up. Okay, so now Gary and Roger Callahan did a lot of research on the human body, and then they figured out this discovery statement about the body's energy meridians, or EFT. What is the discovery statement? It says any disruption in the body's energy system is due to a disruption in the body's energies. So the cause of all, just excuse me for a minute. Sorry about that. So the cause of any disruption in the body is because of the shift in the body's energy meridian. There is a disruption in the body's energy meridian, which is why there is a disruption in the body. There is a discomfort in the body, and as a result, the body ends up with some kind of disease. Now, when we work with tapping or when we work with EFT, it goes reverse. We feel that there is some kind of a pain or some kind of a disease in the body. And then we figure out that there is a disruption in the body's energy meridians. Then we tap on the energy meridians to balance the energy meridians. I hope it's clear till now. There is any question at this point in time, I'm more than happy to take it. Or if we can continue, we can continue. Is there you can unmute yourself and you can ask me, is there anything that
No, I think we can go ahead, Gayathri, but your voice is not very clear. At some points, it's fading out. So if you can maybe speak a little louder.
Sure, Bina. Is this better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. The volume was very low. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So that's how we work with tapping. So when we do tapping, what we do is we use 3 fingers and we tap on various points, right? So we tap on certain points and we use 3 fingers so that we don't miss the meridian. Okay. So now today what we are going to do is we are just going to have a short demonstration to understand how this tapping has an effect on our own human body. Okay, so what happens when you pick up the phone and there is a shocking news, or when you look at something that's truly overwhelming, or when you see someone as a huge surprise? What happens? The first thing, the way the body reacts to it is through the breath, right? You go like that. Like the first reaction from the body is through the breath. So today, what we will be doing is we will be tapping on our own breathing and see and check if this breathing is getting shifted to a better space. So once the breathing becomes deeper, then we get into a better space of the breathing. Is that clear? So now what we will do is I'm going to show you the points. And before that, I'm just going to show you this picture where just give me a minute. I hope all of you can see this picture.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So it says how EFT tapping works, right? So it says, I have this burning pain in my right shoulder. So this is just an example. We don't have to look at this specific example today. This is just to give you an idea as to what happens when we tap on these points. Okay. So I have this burning pain in my right shoulder. So what happens when that starts taking root inside your brain. Thinking about the problem activates the fight or flight response inside the brain. If you look at that picture, the response starts right in the center of the brain and it starts getting triggered because of this pain. Now, if you look under that picture, like under that boy, like right below him, it says tapping with a positive affirmation. So when we tap, we say some positive affirmations. What does that do? There is input of kinetic energy into the meridian points. There is decreased arousal in the brain. The emotional block, or there is a short circuit, right, in the brain that gets cleared and the balance is restored. That's how this is just about basic tapping. Okay, this is just a basic idea as to what we are doing when we are tapping and how it is working on the brain, giving some signals to release the physical or emotional pain. Now, even a very disturbing memory can cause some kind of a physical impact in the body today, right? Something that happened years ago. When you recall that whole incident, there is some kind of a disturbance. You either feel, there's some kind of a disturbance in the neck, or, you feel heavy, there is a headache. Even a memory can bring about such disturbances, right? So the brain doesn't know whether it is real or whether it is imaginary. So even when we imagine things, it is going to have an impact on the body, be it positive or negative. Okay, so now we will just go through the points, basic points, very simple. You can tap along with me when I tell you to do so. Now, what we are going to do is, if you can see my hand right below the little finger, this is called the karate chop. So when people do karate, they go like that, right? So this point is called the karate chop. This is where we do the setup. So why do we have to set up the whole thing? We have to set up the whole thing the way we put a battery into a toy. Okay, so here we address the problem and the solution 3 times. Why do we say it 3 times? To reinforce it to our own subconscious mind. Okay, is that clear? So now this is your setup point, whichever hand is okay. If you just go and search the net tonight after this talk, you'll see some practitioners doing like that, some doing like that, and some going like that. Everything is right. Whatever is comfortable for you, you can go about with that. Okay, whichever hand is okay. It's not necessary that you have to do the right hand or the left hand. Whatever comes to you naturally, you can do that. Okay, so this is where we are going to set up the problem and the solution. Now, what is the solution here? So the problem could be anything. You can say, I have a headache, my knee is hurting, this memory of mine, which is disturbing, I feel sad about this, I'm feeling angry about this, I'm feeling restless about this. So there is again a movie on the net, which is called Try It On Everything. So you will just get an idea as to the areas where tapping has been used and it's playing a beautiful role. So in the field of health, career, relationships, you can go to any extent to try tapping. Okay, so now this is our setup point. Okay, here is where we set up the problem and the solution. Now, what is the solution? The solution, Gary says, for any problem under the sun, you start with loving and accepting yourself exactly the way you are. That's where the solution begins. So we say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That comes as the solution. We'll come to the statements later. First, I'm going to show you all the points. So this is where we do the setup. Okay, now the setup is done. Now we'll go to the actual point. So the first point will be the center of the head, where you say, for little babies, it is yet to come together. That is the first point. Okay, sometimes you might feel a little bit of soreness there. Sometimes it will be slightly softer than the rest of the area around it. You will know where to tap as you start tapping. Okay, then we come above the eyebrow. Like, just right here on both sides, you will tap like that on both sides. Some practitioners tap like this, some do like that. It's perfectly fine. This is the area to be tapped on. Okay, so that's what we need to note here. And the next one will be just after the bone here. There is a small depression. It's called side of the eye. If you go to any of the YouTube links, you will see the side of the eye. There is this little depression here, right? That's the next point. Then we come under the eye. Don't worry, I'm going to show you a picture and I'll send it across to Bina also. You don't have to worry about the points. It just goes down the face. It's sequential, and it's all available on the net. Okay. So after the side of the eye, we go under the eye on the bone right here. Is that clear? Here. Then we do under the nose. This point is supposed to supply oxygen directly to the brain in an instant. Okay, this is a very important point. All the points are important in their own way. And this, brings in oxygen into the brain in an instant. Then we go the chin point right on your chin. Yeah, and we tap like that a few times as we say the statements. And then it's right below your collarbone. You have your collarbone here, just right below the collarbone. It's also called the K27. It is the 27th point on the kidney meridian. It's called the queen of all the points. This point is very important. It takes care of the kidney, any kind of fear, any kind of restlessness. Sometimes you don't know what to do in certain occasions. This is a great point to just tap. Okay, it's just below the collarbone here. Some practitioners would do like that, which is perfectly fine. Just make a little fist and you go like that. Okay, and the next point will be just 3 inches below your underarm. Just go below go to your underarm, just go 3 inches below, whichever side, straight line. If there was a line like that, go there and start. Check wherever it's hurting. Okay, so that will be the next point. So this is what we are going to be doing today. We are going to see what happens when we just tap on these points on our own breathing. Okay, so what did we do? We did the setup here. Yeah, we talked about the problem. We are going to be talking about the problem and the solution. Go to the center of the head, above the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, underarm. Okay, so that's about it for today. These are the points that we need to know. So now, all of you, just sit back, relax, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. We are going to see what is going to happen to the breathing once we tap. Okay, so close your eyes and take a deep breath and rate your breathing. In EFT, we call it the intensity meter. Rate your breathing. Rate your breathing. This rating is just for our own understanding. You don't have to worry whether you're right or wrong, whether it's, 4 or 5, like between 0 and 10, you can rate your breathing. Just be aware of your body. Was the inhaling more difficult? Was the exhaling more difficult? Did you feel any kind of tightness anywhere in the body? Was there any specific reaction when you were inhaling and exhaling? If you were really comfortable, You could give it a 8, 8.5 on 10. The lower the number, there is more restriction, there is more constriction in the breathing. It could be because of so many reasons. It could be because of reasons from the past. It could be because of a long day that you have had. It could be because you have not rested well. It could be because of so many reasons. It could be because of a memory. Just go with the flow, stay with your breath. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and rate your breathing on a scale of 0 to 10, which we call as the intensity meter in EFT. So slowly take a look at the screen. The setup point was the karate chop point, which is not there in the picture. Apart from that, the top of the head, the inner eyebrow, it says eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, chin point, collarbone, and underarm points. Whichever side. Now, let us do some tapping. And we are going to say some affirmations. Whatever you say becomes true for you, right? Affirmations are extremely powerful. The queen of affirmations, Louise, always says that we can talk ourselves into what we want, right? So let us do this tapping on the breathing. I hope all of you have your numbers on a scale of 0 to 10, whatever number you have given for your breathing, right? Now, let us go to the karate chop and repeat after me as you tap. Even though there is this restriction in my breathing, even though there is this restriction in my breathing, I deeply and completely, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Keep tapping. We repeat this statement. Even though there is some restriction in my breathing, even though there is some restriction in my breathing, and I may not know all the reasons for it, and I may not know all the reasons for it, I deeply and completely love, accept, and honor myself. Let's say it one more time. Even though there is this restriction in my breathing, I deeply and completely love, accept, and respect myself exactly the way I am. Let's go to the center of the head. There is some restriction in my breathing. Keep tapping along with me. Go above the eyebrow, these 2 points. I may not know all the reasons for it. Side of the eye, there is some restriction when I'm inhaling. It could be when you're exhaling. Choose whatever is appropriate for you. there is some tightness in my chest area, in my stomach area, some tightness in my shoulders, under the nose. I can certainly breathe better. To the chin point, there is some restriction in my inhalation, in my exhalation, whatever is true for you, you may say that. Say it in the present tense. Go to the collarbone. I choose to address this now. Go to the underarm point. There is some restriction in my breathing. Wherever it is sore, wherever it hurts, that's where you need to tap. That's just an indication that you need to tap. Go back to the center of the head. I deeply love myself. Eyebrow point. I completely accept myself. Side of the eye. Keep tapping. I unconditionally support myself. Under the eye. I choose to inhale better right now. Under the nose, I choose to exhale deeper right now. Go to the chin point. I'm a precious child of the universe. I'm a precious child of the universe. Go to the collarbone point. Keep tapping. I deeply love myself right here and right now. Underarm point. I completely accept myself exactly the way I am. I completely accept myself exactly the way I am. Go back to the center of the head. I deeply and completely love, accept, and support myself. Love, accept, and support myself right here and right now. Sit back, relax, close your eyes, and stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Now inhale and exhale, and see if there is any difference in the breathing right now. Note down if there is a shift in the breathing. See if there is a change in the number. Check how you're feeling. And Dina, can we get the feedback from a few of them? Like maybe from your
Yes, sure.
group, from Rtambhara?
Yeah. There's a message here from Padmini Trikutam, and she says, I see a difference, feeling better, thank you. And then she says, there's a significant improvement. So
Okay.
yes, we can ask others to unmute and give us their feedback.
Sure, if we could take a couple of minutes, like if it is Rohan and Prem and Rashmi.
Yeah. Rashmi?
Gigi. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
I'm feeling very light and very calm. All the weekly stress gone away, and I feel relaxed right now.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your feedback. We will discuss a little more once we
Yes.
once we take this a little ahead. Yeah.
There are some questions, but you right now, I think, okay. So Saralya says, my breathing went from a 4, I felt like I wasn't getting enough air, to a 7. And I just generally feel lighter.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Anybody else would like to share, or should we just go ahead?
Can we have your number, please?
Sure.
Or,
I will be posting the number and some other details that Gayathri will give me on our groups, so you can have it from there. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Prem, would you like to say something?
No, I also feel quite relaxed compared to the initial breathing, and after the tapping, the breathing was very even and very slow and much deeper level of breathing. So I was taking in more oxygen to the body.
Okay. So, is there anyone here for whom the number went down? Like it got worse after tapping? Or is there anyone for whom there was no change at all? It's just been the same. Anyone saying anything in the chat box, Dina?
No.
No, currently, right? Okay. Yeah, it could happen. The reason I asked for that is that can also happen. So why did the breathing shift to a better space? Okay, first we'll address that because most of us are on that page. So when we were tapping, what we actually did was they are all acupressure points where we put in some pressure to balance the energy meridians. And as a result, the toxins were thrown out of the body. When the toxins were thrown out of the body, what happens? We start feeling lighter, we start feeling more relaxed, and some amount of stress in some form, like how Rashmi said, she's feeling far more lighter and far more relaxed after tapping. Okay, so now that we've done this simple tapping, there is a possibility that all of you might drink lots of water today. Okay, the body will ask for more hydration, which is perfectly fine. And as a result, you might use the washroom a little more today, which is also again fine. And if anybody is feeling that your lower lip is getting really dry, that is also perfectly fine because that is a sign that the body's energy meridians are getting balanced. Okay, is that clear? So in any of these things could happen. You might feel really hungry tonight at dinner time. Sometimes you might feel that it is okay not to eat at all. Each one of us would have a different reaction when we balance our energy meridians. It all depends on our knowledge, awareness, and understanding of our own bodies, the way our minds work, the belief system, the upbringing, the parenting that has happened to us. So all of us are going to react differently. So whatever comes up is don't worry. It's perfectly fine. The body knows to take care of itself. Okay. Now, what are the areas where this tapping works? Okay. And what are we doing? Actually, we are saying those statements and we are reinforcing the positive statements when we do. So first, what did we do? We did the setup with the problem and the solution. Then we spoke only about the issue. There is some restriction in my inhaling. I could give it only a 3 on 10, whatever it is, and there is some restriction when I'm exhaling. There's some tightness in my shoulder. We spoke only about the problem. And then we came to the underarm, went back to the center of the head, and we started talking about the solution in the form of affirmations, right? I deeply love myself. I completely accept myself. I unconditionally support myself. I'm a precious child of the universe. We said all these things. So what did we do when we said those things? We were reinforcing it to our own subconscious mind and balancing the energy meridians. So what would happen if you're not saying any of the statements? It is perfectly fine if you do the tapping and you're not saying any statement out loud. It is still going to work. At the same time, when you say it, what happens is you're doing two actions. So the mind is not going to go here and there. It's not going to be a monkey mind. It's going to stay more focused in balancing the energy meridians. So that is the advantage of saying the positive affirmations out loud. And even better, if you're able to say in front of a mirror. You look at yourself, say it out loud as possible. You address your problem and then you talk about the solution. So normally what do we do? When there is a problem, we want to run away from the problem. We want to be in our own comfort zones. We want to take care of everything. Okay, everything is fine. Let me not rock the boat. Let me not move out of the comfort zone is our general thought process. But what happens when we actually take that step is that we grow, we evolve, we understand better, and we embrace a better world. Okay, so now be it your career, be it your relationships, be it your health, be it your finances, tapping can help all of those areas. And if you have nothing to tap on, see your breathing is so relaxed and you're feeling perfectly fine, and you just want to start your day with a positive feeling, you can just choose some affirmations and just start using those affirmations. I choose to attract a great day today. I love myself. I accept myself. I'm so grateful for what nature has given me. I attract wonderful people into my life today. So you can say some affirmations and you can start off your day. You can do some morning tapping. The only understanding that we need when we use affirmations is that we always say it in present tense and it is positive. We are not going to say, I will be happy today. I will be calm today. No. I am calm today. I am happy right here and right now. That's how you tap using the affirmations. Okay, that is one thing. And another thing is, there is something called cutting the tree. If you go through the manual, if you download it and you take up certain topics, Gary says, we have a lot of incidents from the past which are in our own bodies as energy blocks. They go and block our energy, right? Gary says at any point in time, if you are not able to write at least 50 of them, you are not fit to live on this planet. Okay, we will have a lot of incidents from the past which are bothering us, which are disturbing us, and they come in the way of our day-to-day activities, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes subconsciously. Deep down, it has formed a layer, it has formed a very strong foundation for what we are doing and what we are attracting today. So when we have these things in the background, we act in a particular way, we say things in a particular way, and we have a particular way of doing things, right? We don't know anything else. So when we are releasing some of these blocks, the blocks that are similar in our subconscious mind, all of them will get uprooted. So Gary calls them cutting the tree. The similar trees will get cut. And unless you experience something different after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or maybe even after years, you might realize that, oh, this is not the way I was reacting to this. So that is another aspect of EFT. As you tap and you release stuff, you might release something that you don't know also. That is one thing. And another thing is there is something called the personal peace procedure. Gary calls it PPP. You can pull out one incident after the other from the past, which is bothering you, not bothering you, that doesn't matter, which comes to your memory. You just tap on that whole incident like a story. Gary says you will release a lot of stuff. It's called your personal peace procedure. And if some story or some incident or some particular memory from the past is bothering you a lot, and it is coming in the way, and it is having a disruption in your body's energy system, then there is also something called the moving method. So all those who are interested, you can read about all of this in the manual. It's downloadable for free from this website, www.eftuniverse.com. Okay, so another interesting site as far as tapping is concerned is the tapping solution. This brother and sister duo, Nick Ortner and Jessica Ortner, they have been in this area of tapping for the last 15 years, and they are doing wonders on the net. Every year they bring about facilitators from all over the world to talk about tapping and, you know, how creatively and how beautifully one can make use of this simple technique and lead a better life. So that's about the websites and generally about tapping. I will be giving these details to Dina, and she'll be sharing it in your groups. So that was the basic understanding of tapping today with an experiential session. Can we now move on to the questions? I think we are good with the time also.